Next up is Blain.
How are we doing? There's a crap load of people tonight. Awesome. Alright, so we're going to go through this really quick. I'm going to keep this really high level, but essentially we're going to go through showing an Apple TV app, powered by backend API that we worked on, and see if we can get this stuff out there so anybody else can use it as well. So we went with NASA content because it's the government. We'll just steal from them. It's a bunch of free shit. So we're going to go right into this and do it live right away. So went over to like our Odd Networks website, and there's a bunch of developer guides and SDKs and software that you can download as any developer out there to build apps for Apple iPhones, Apple TVs, Androids, Rokus, whatever device is on the market right now. So I went and grabbed the Apple TV version of the app itself and fired this up. And there's only one setting that actually two settings that I have to actually throw in there. There's you can see this too well. I have to give it an access token, and then I give it what organization I actually want to pull from. So I have an organization for NASA in there right now. So I'm going to use one finger somehow. Throw my token in there.
Can you speak up a little bit?
Sure. How's that? Good. Build the app. Take a second. Slow laptop. Voila. I have two things in there right now, which is great. Eventually the images will load in, and then we can actually browse back and forth, pick a video. Hopefully this Wi-Fi is fast enough, it'll actually play the video. No. Time Warner must be, right? Hopefully nobody works for Time Warner right now. But there we go. There's some sample stuff right there. So I'm going to actually kill the app right now. I'll reset everything first. Reset it. Kill the simulator. Now, somehow I'm going to do this with one hand. I'm going to go over to our backend service and actually run a quick sync. I added some other RSS feeds out there, and I'll show you where those come from in a minute. So it's going to run through, it's going to go out to NASA and actually pull down a bunch of video feeds from them. Pull all that data. Yeah, this next source has like 100 videos in there. So that might take a second. While that's doing that, once that actually finishes, I'm going to change my home page, add some more stuff in there. Did we finish? No. Screw it, we'll see what happens. So this is a live demo, so this is all fun and games until something breaks and crashes. Back over to the app. We'll run the app again. Oh, there. Uh-oh, Elasticsearch. Here it goes. We're back. We got all 100 of them. Stop the simulator again. Maybe we can boot it out. Hopefully we get a crap ton more. There we go. So what I did was I actually had I pulled out a sample app. All I did was add a bunch of RSS feeds into the system. The sync runs every 10 minutes on our side, populates all this content for you, and all you can do is just run the app and pull up more videos. And it's a basic start of an Apple TV app that you could brand, publish to the store, make money, Maybe. Go viral. Way to go. Have the guy that just came up here help you go viral. Yeah, I'm going to slaughter the Wi-Fi with HD video right now, so I'm going to stop this. Quick. Goodbye. Alright. So that was what? About 2 minutes? Downloaded some stuff. Changed some data. You got an Apple TV app, right? Let me show you how I did it. I did all the work for you, technically, so you don't have to. So, just to give you an example, like I went to NASA.com and I grabbed, like, they have a publicly available, like, RSS feeds for all of their video, like the Jet Propulsion Lab, there's some like Earth stuff out there and the solar system. So I took all of those and I just shoved them into our back end and let our sync services run and grab everything. And then using our API, you can just pull that stuff down and publish right away. So the way that we actually built that stuff is using the approach of microservices. So we have a bunch of little individualized processes running specific per business need. So there's a long definition of what microservices are, but I highlighted the small pieces. They're small services, they have specific business capabilities, but any programming, each one can be written on any programming language as long as they accept the same message type, whether it's JSON, XML, what have you. And each one of those can actually store data however the hell it wants to. Whether it be MySQL database, it can store information like this, it doesn't matter. Essentially, microservices, you just have one job. Now, and I don't know if you noticed, that's the second Jurassic Park reference. That's the first time I've ever done that. I'm going to try for 3 next month, so stay tuned. So how do we actually map this out? Who just yelled? Who's waiting for Game of Thrones? Unless I was downstairs and someone was yelling for soccer. So this is actually how we set up our system. So we built this already to make this easier for you to do what I just did in 2 minutes. So we have a generic message bus that just passes all this information back and forth. We have our public API, which is what the Apple TV was talking to get all of those videos in there and all those collections. On the back end, we have our generic catalog that actually aggregates all this stuff for you. We have identity stuff. We have NASA, which belongs to these videos. We have our sync service over on the right that I showed you that I ran and grabbed out all that information and put it in there for you and put it in a nice pretty format. There's images coming from us that you saw from the nice solar system images. So all of this we actually built in the back end, and all you need is like a free account to download, grab a key, and build any app you want. But the purpose of this is there's not one block on the page. There's little individual blocks that have specific purposes. One block being just the catalog that deals with just videos. There's another block that deals with doing just identity stuff, whether it's user management or organizations or devices. There's another block that's doing just the syncing of the stuff from the outside. Then there's the device API in the front, which the devices talk to get their data. So they all have individual needs, but they share the same communication protocol, the same message bus in the middle. That's not the next button. So at a high level, we stitched all of these different pieces together to give us this architecture to make the magic happen. So it makes app development really, really simple to get up and running in 15 minutes. That way you don't have to deal with hosting any of this stuff. You don't have to deal with how it looks. You just download the app and you go. And this is just what happened. We had to pick at the same at that one time. Not to say that we could have swapped out something else somewhere. I know there's probably a lot of hate for Mongo in the audience right now. I don't really like it. And then the Apple TV tech side, we just used Swift, and we had a pre-built SDK that we made available for you to use. But the generic piece of this is when you're actually building software on a bigger scale, it's important to really like break apart the pieces that really drive like what business need you actually need to use. So let's go back to this piece. And I've seen a lot of systems that actually have their one service, their one API, their one dashboard. It's their monolithic app that they like to use, and it takes a lot of time to build in features, do deployments, do migrations. But in this kind of distributed nature, if any one of those blue blocks happen to go down, we can take down that one, spin up a new one without disrupting the rest of everything in place. If we find that one is getting overloaded too much, we add more. So maybe the catalog is getting a lot of traffic. We'll add 3 more, and everything is fine. And then we can diagnose why we're actually getting more, and then come back down, and maybe we can fix the problem that way. Yeah, ideally, the purpose of this talk was to show you how to get that app out there as fast as you possibly can, but also like what it actually takes sometimes to get those apps built. Like if you're going to build apps across all sorts of platforms, you want to have a common way to bring that content in there. That system actually made it a lot easier for us to consume that. So we can actually pull video content from YouTube, from NASA, from Vimeo, from pick another video provider out there in the world. We can pull all that in and give it to you the same way no matter where it came from. And with the sample apps and the SDKs that we have available, I'm not a Swift guy. I've never written a line of Swift myself. The guy that did it is actually standing in the back room. He's the other beautiful man with the beard. His is a little more seasoned than mine is, but grab the floor. And we're back. Yeah, so if there's anybody out there like starting to build like some sort of backend architecture, I would urge you to read up on the concept of microservices, see if it actually gives you some sort of benefit to scaling your platform. Even if all those services live on one physical machine, it doesn't mean everything has to live on separate processes or anything like that. Like, start small, build it out. Maybe you find some things that need more attention than others. And so far, it's worked really, really well for us so far. There's been some pain points, obviously, but we really tend to work through them pretty well. So if anybody actually wants to build any apps, talk to Neil and sign up an account, talk to me, and can help you out, whatever you want to do. I'm sure there's plenty of other app developers out there. If you want to learn anything else, come talk to me. I can't leave until I get one question, but I will take 2 if I have to.
So it seems like you could, if you have actually, say YouTube, if you wanted to build a channel around certain content, you could do that by using the metadata associated with the videos as your platform.
Sure, you could totally do that, yeah, exactly.
What did he say?
He said if you wanted to build an app around the YouTube API, you can actually do that. Instead of him having to write and log into YouTube and figure out the YouTube API and deal, all that way, you can write that app once for one client, and maybe you can do the same thing for another client, not have to like reinvent the wheel every single time. I work with him, that's why I answered that question. Anybody else? He counts as a half a question. He doesn't even count.
Yeah, it's a quarter.
Do you even count too? That's true.
What do you use for process management and microservices? PM2 or microservices or something else?
I've tried PM2. I've tried forever. PM2 just seems like the de facto these days.
Doesn't anything other than just running process over yet?
Well, that's kind of that's one of the advantages of like the microservice thing. Like, spit up 20. I don't really care. Like, if one dies, one dies. In that architecture, you have to be okay with failure. Because you just have so many moving parts, things are going to go wrong. So as long as you're okay with that, it's cheap to spin up another one. Might as well. And then diagnose as you need to. Third question? If I went over anybody's head, let me know. Take it down.
You're all set.
Good?
Round of applause. Thank you.